How to make him think about you, constantly every day. Millions of women search for the perfect text, the perfect photo, or the perfect trick that will make a man think about them non-stop. They believe there must be some secret formula that flips a switch in his mind and makes him obsessed. But the truth is far simpler and far more powerful than any dating hack you see online. People don't think about someone constantly because of one clever message. They think about someone because of the emotional experience that person creates. Think about the people you've never forgotten. It probably wasn't because they texted you every hour or showered you with constant attention. It was because they made you feel something unique. They had a personality, a presence, and an energy that stayed with you long after the conversation ended. That's why the first step to making him think about you is to stop trying so hard to occupy his mind and start building a life that naturally makes you memorable. The biggest mistake many women make is believing that constant availability creates stronger attraction. The opposite often happens. When every text is answered immediately, every plan is accepted instantly, and every conversation is driven by fear of losing him, mystery disappears. Predictability replaces curiosity. This doesn't mean playing games or pretending to be unavailable. It means having a life that genuinely excites you. When your schedule includes goals, hobbies, friendships, and personal growth, your attention becomes valuable because it comes from choice rather than need. Men, like all people, are naturally curious about someone who enjoys life independently. Another powerful truth is that people remember emotions more than words. Years later, someone may forget exactly what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. Did your conversations leave them smiling? Did they feel understood? Did they laugh? Did they feel inspired? Emotional experiences create lasting memories because the brain connects feelings with importance. That's why authenticity is more attractive than perfection. You don't need rehearsed lines or manipulative tactics. You need genuine moments that create positive emotions. One reason some women struggle is because they make the relationship their entire identity. Their mood depends on his replies. Their confidence depends on his compliments. Their happiness depends on his attention. Ironically, this emotional dependence often pushes people away because it creates pressure. Healthy attraction grows when two complete people choose each other, not when one person becomes emotionally responsible for the other's happiness. Confidence is magnetic because it communicates that your value exists whether someone notices it or not. Another way to stay on someone's mind is to have a distinct personality rather than simply agreeing with everything they say. Many people are afraid of disagreement because they think it will reduce attraction. But respectful individuality often makes someone more memorable. If every conversation sounds the same, it quickly blends into every other interaction. If you have your own opinions, humor, passions, and perspective, you become someone who stands out. Being unforgettable is not about being perfect. It's about being authentic. The internet often tells women to use jealousy, silence, or emotional games to make a man think about them. While these tactics may create temporary curiosity, they rarely build lasting respect or genuine connection. Fear-based attraction is unstable because it's built on uncertainty rather than trust. Real attraction grows when someone associates you with peace, positivity, and emotional safety. People naturally return to experiences that make them
Another important truth is that absence only creates attraction when presence was meaningful. Simply disappearing does not make someone miss you if the connection lacked depth to begin with. Many people confuse distance with mystery. But mystery comes from depth, not disappearance. It comes from being someone with layers, interests, ambitions, and stories that make others curious to know more. That's why investing in yourself is one of the most attractive things you can do. Learn new skills, build your career, travel when possible, read books, meet interesting people, create experiences that enrich your own life. Ironically, the less your happiness depends on making him think about you, the more naturally memorable you become. Another mistake is trying to force constant communication. Attraction does not evolve because two people text all day. Sometimes the strongest communications develop through anticipation. A meaningful conversation followed by time to live your own life often leaves a stronger impression than endless small talk.
Space allows curiosity to develop. It allows someone to reflect on your conversations instead of becoming overwhelmed by constant contact. Of course, this isn't about calculated silence or manipulation. It's about balance. Healthy relationships include both connection and individuality. One of the strongest qualities a person can have is emotional stability. When you don't panic over delayed replies, don't create drama to gain attention, and don't constantly seek validation, you become refreshing in a world filled with emotional chaos. Stability creates trust. Trust creates comfort. Comfort creates attachment. The truth is that people think about those who add value to their lives, not those who constantly demand value from them. That's why kindness, confidence, humor, curiosity, and emotional maturity are far more powerful than any texting strategy. At the end of the day, there is no magic sentence that guarantees someone will think about you constantly. Human emotions are too complex for simple tricks. But there's one mindset that changes everything. Become the kind of person whose presence improves the lives of the people around you while never abandoning your own identity. When you stop chasing attention and start building a meaningful life, your conversations become more genuine, your confidence becomes more attractive, and your absence becomes more noticeable. The real secret isn't making him think about you every minute. It's becoming someone he remembers even when you're not there. And that happens not because you mastered psychology, but because you mastered yourself. And this is where most people misunderstand attraction completely. They believe that making someone think about them requires constant communication, but the human mind doesn't work that way. People rarely remember those who are always trying to impress them. They remember those who make them feel inspired, understood, challenged, or emotionally connected. Think about your own life. There are people you haven't spoken to in months who still cross your mind unexpectedly. Maybe you hear a song that reminds you of them, visit a place you once shared, or remember a conversation that made you laugh. Memories are created by emotional experiences, not by the number of messages exchanged. That's why trying to force attention often produces the opposite result. The harder you try to stay on someone's mind, the more pressure you create, and pressure rarely creates genuine attraction. Another powerful habit is learning to leave every interaction on a positive note, instead of dragging conversations until they become repetitive or boring. End them while the energy is still good. Leave a conversation after sharing something interesting, funny, or meaningful. People naturally anticipate future interactions when the previous one ended with positive emotions.
It's similar to watching a great movie that leaves you wanting more rather than one that continues long after the story has ended. Emotional curiosity keeps people engaged. Oversharing every thought and every detail of your day can remove that sense of discovery. Healthy relationships are built over time, allowing two people to gradually learn about each other instead of revealing everything immediately. Another truth is that confidence is remembered because it is rare. Someone who respects their own time, maintains healthy boundaries, and doesn't constantly seek reassurance creates an impression of emotional strength. This doesn't mean acting distant or pretending not to care. It means caring without losing yourself. It means being excited about your own future, whether someone texts you today or tomorrow. That mindset changes your energy completely. Instead of asking, how can I make him think about me? You begin asking, am I living a life that makes me proud? Ironically, that's often when people become more attracted to you. You should also remember that mystery doesn't come from hiding your personality. It comes from continuing to grow. A woman who is learning new skills, chasing meaningful goals, traveling, creating memories, and developing her passions will naturally have new stories, new perspectives, and new experiences to share. Every conversation feels fresh because her life keeps evolving. Compare that to someone whose entire emotional world revolves around one person. Conversations eventually become repetitive because their focus never changes. Growth creates depth, and depth creates fascination. Perhaps the biggest lesson of all is that you do not make the right person think about you by pretending to be someone you're not. Short-term attention can be earned through games, jealousy, or manipulation, but lasting attraction is built through authenticity. The people who leave the strongest impression are usually those who are comfortable being themselves.